Hey, it's Missy Ballison, personal trainer and exercise physiologist for the past 25 years. And today I'm going to share some tips with you. And today I want to share with you some tips about mindless eating. So many of you know that 80% of your health and wellness and fitness and fat loss and weight loss goals come from your nutrition. Maybe you didn't know this, but that's a pretty important tidbit to know, because oftentimes we think, I'm just going to go to the gym and work off that food that I ate. But it's really important to remember that a bigger part of that picture is what you put in your mouth. And mindless eating is so important to get under control, because we can easily grab a lot of extra calories each and every day without even thinking about it. For example, I'm going to give you a few examples of where you might find these extra mindless calories, and then I'm going to give you 4 tips to help you to move beyond it and to be mindful of those habits that you have. So when you walk through the kitchen, somebody's baked cookies, maybe they put them away, or maybe they're still sitting there and there's just a half cookie sitting on the cookie sheet, and you're like, oh, I think just a half cookie wouldn't be a big deal, and you just eat that half cookie. Well, right there, you are already taking in 25 calories. No big deal, right? So then maybe your little toddler is not finishing their little dinosaur nuggets, right? So they have 2 dinosaur nuggets left, and you think, well, I don't want to throw those away. I'll just nibble on those. That right there adds another 98 extra calories to your day. So then later on in the day, when you're packing up dinner, maybe you had tortellini and a nice piece of chicken breast and some broccoli, and it was a great meal, and there's just a little bit of tortellini left, maybe like 1/3 of a cup. And who saves 1/3 of a cup of tortellini, right? So you're thinking, I might as well just eat it, because I don't want to throw it away. The dog won't eat it, and it's not really worth saving. So you eat a little bit of that, another 124 calories. So just those 3 simple food indiscretions, and you've added up 257 calories in those 3 simple, mindless little food grabs. So that 257 extra calories each day can easily add up to 1/2 pound a week. So it takes 3,500 calories in excess to create 1 pound of fat. So if you take in, which is 500 calories each and every day, 7 days a week is 3,500 calories. So even if you just take in a little bit extra, like 250 calories a day, you're still adding an extra 1/2 pound of body fat a week, potentially. So if you did that each and every week, just these simple mindless grabs, and those are some small mindless grabs, mind you. If you did this each and every day, you would easily gain 25 pounds in a year. So if you are finding that you feel like you're doing everything, you're hitting the gym every day like you planned, and you're getting some good hard workouts in, and you're eating pretty well, and you're not paying attention to these mindless eating munchies or this like no-brainer noshing, that very easily could be the thing that's holding you back. So I want to talk to you about a few tips that can help you to kind of be more aware of your mindless eating. And you'll find that shaving just a few calories here and there and being more intentional about your eating plan is really going to help. And it's going to be painless. So it's not like starting this big diet, this big program. You can easily start shaving some pounds off just by paying attention to the little things. So that's my first tip for you, is I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to several things, one of them being quantity. So when we go, say, to Costco, when we buy this huge bag of pretzels or Stacy's chips or anything in large quantities, studies show that we are more likely to eat greater portions. So greater sizes equal greatest portions. They have done studies over and over showing that this is the case, and smaller sizes equal smaller portions. Just like you may have heard, the average dinner plate is 12 inches around. If you reduce the size of that eating plate to 9 inches, you are easily going to shave several hundred calories from your meal, and most likely you will still be satisfied. So if you think about some of these things, those items that I listed before, the half cookie, the 1/3 of a cup of tortellini, and the 2 dino nuggets, those are things that you weren't really even hungry for in the first place. And if you didn't actually eat them, you would never miss them. They were just things that you didn't even take the time to check in to see if you were hungry. So that, again, we need to pay attention to our hunger signals. Give yourself a moment of pause before you grab that half cookie and say, am I even really hungry for this? I mean, so many times we just start throwing stuff in our mouth, right? So I want you to pay attention specifically as well to the portion sizes. So if you're going to buy something in bulk, and of course it's more affordable to buy these things in bulk, if you're going to buy in bulk, consider repackaging these things when you get home into smaller portion sizes. Let's say it's a big bag of pretzels. Grab the portion size of pretzels is about 10 pretzels, put those in smaller Ziploc bags, and you're much less likely to open 5 bags of pretzels. You're just gonna probably open the 1 bag of 10 pretzels and eat it. Now, if you just keep reaching into that large bag and you just start eating and munching while being distracted especially, you're not even really paying attention to how many pretzels you're eating. So take that large bag, portion it down into smaller portions. Now let me tell you about a study they did regarding M&Ms. So they took a large Ziploc bag of M&Ms, those gallon size, put 200 M&Ms in the gallon size Ziploc bag. And then they took another large Ziploc bag. They took 200 M&Ms, but what they did this time is they put 20 M&Ms in 10 smaller bags, so 10 little snack size bags. They put those in the large Ziploc bag. So the group that ate just straight out of the large Ziploc bag ate 73 M&Ms per hour. The group that had to go through 2 Ziploc bags, the large bag and then the smaller snack size bag, they only ate 42 an hour. That's about half, a little less than half, and that saves about 112 calories. So just that alone, you do 2 simple tricks like that and you've saved off that half a pound a week. Maybe even you're actually doing this to lose that extra half a pound a week, okay? So pay attention to your portion sizes. If you are faced with large portions, for example, at the restaurant, you know, restaurants are almost always going to give you more than you can handle. So I want you to ask for your to-go box right away. So ask for your to-go box, put a reasonable size portion, leave it on your plate, and then put the rest in a to-go box to have another day. You're going to be satisfied with the food that you eat, and then you're going to have extra to take home, and you won't miss a thing. You won't leave there feeling stuffed. You'll actually leave there feeling satisfied and proud of yourself that you didn't overdo it. So number 2, look for your patterns. This is a big one for me. One thing that I realized is every Wednesday night we would go to Bible study, and every Wednesday night there would be some kind of sweet treat, whether it's a store-bought cookie or donut holes. And I don't actually even care for store-bought cookies. If I'm going to eat a cookie, I want it to be like a really good gooey cookie. But habitually, we would have dinner, we'd go to Bible study, I'd grab the store-bought cookie or 2 or 3 with a cup of terrible coffee and sit and eat it and drink it while listening to Bible study. And then I realized, you know what? I don't even like these cookies. I'm just every week I'm eating this cookie or 2 and not even thinking about it. So I started to make an intentional choice. We'd finish dinner. I'd have a little snack at home if I wanted it, or I might bring some grapes or some carrots to Bible study, and just checked in with myself for a moment before I went to the Bible study and grabbed that random cookie. I didn't even miss the cookie. I didn't even really like the cookie. It was just there. It was a habit. It was a pattern. So maybe this happens to you when you're at the office and there's like a food table and people bring treats, and you just go by to the copier and you grab a treat. Don't even think about whether you really want that treat or really are craving a treat of some kind. So I want you to take a moment to pause, look for the patterns in your life. Take a moment aside from the patterns. Like today, take a moment to sit there and think about, what are the patterns? What are the things that I go to that there's constantly treats around? And envision yourself taking a pause and determining, do I really need this treat right now? Maybe you do, but it's likely you probably don't, and you probably won't miss it. Now, when you have a meal plan in place, that definitely helps, because if you got your meals all planned, snacks all planned out, you are most likely going to think twice about eating a little something like a donut hole or 10, because you're going to be thinking, well, I didn't actually write that down. That wasn't part of my plan. When you have a meal plan in place, that can definitely help you to curb the mindless eating habits. So the other one I want you to think about is, are you getting sucked into the marketing? Okay, so marketing's big. We could go on all day about marketing, but just think about a few things. When you see the word low fat, you might not consciously think this, maybe you do. Do you sometimes get more of something or eat more of something because it's low fat? And you think, well, it's low fat, it's no big deal. It really doesn't count that much. It still counts, it still has calories, and most likely when something is low fat, they probably have added a little extra sugar or a lot of extra sugar to make it taste better, because it's the fat that makes the food taste good. So consider the fact that you might actually be eating more of this low-fat item, which actually contains more sugar, more flavor additives and things like that they had to add into it so that they were able to market it as low-fat so that you would buy more and eat more. All right, so consider that. Also, think about the fact that when we see certain foods advertised, the studies show we are 5 times more likely to eat those foods. For example, if you go into a fast food restaurant, And they're showing meals of their burgers and their fries and their milkshakes and things like that. You are not, and maybe they have a nice side menu of some salads and some broccoli and things like that. Studies show that when we see those foods and we see those foods paired together, we are 5 times more likely to buy the foods that we're looking at. So the marketing is huge. How about this? How about when you drive by Burger King? Notice this for me. When you drive by Burger King at 11 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon, you're going to smell this amazing smell of grilled burgers, and you are going to want to drive through. When you walk through the mall and you smell Cinnabon, there's a reason for that. It's strategically vented into the mall so that you are smelling those smells. Well, there's a hormone that our stomach produces. It's called ghrelin. It's our hunger hormone. When we smell these just like overly enticing smells, it drives us to start that digestion process, and it drives us to start really wanting those foods. So are you falling prey to the marketing, the super size me tactic? Do you feel, when you hear super size me, do you feel like, I'm getting a bargain? I might as well go. It's cheaper, so I might as well go for the super size because I'm saving money. That's a really big one. That's why we tend to buy bulk. So pay attention to the marketing. Is the marketing sucking you in? And the last one is a little tip to help you pause. I just want you to think about taking a pause before you start to do these mindless habits or enter into a place where you might get sucked into the marketing. Look for your patterns. Pause before you start that pattern. So thinking about this, so I want you to sit and think about, okay, yeah, I do that. I do drive by Burger King, and 3 out of 5 times I drive through. Pause and know what they're doing. Know that they're marketing. Pay attention to the packaging and pause and take a moment to decide. Check in with your hunger level and decide, am I really even hungry? Do I really even need this? Is this food providing me any satisfaction other than a mental satisfaction? Is it providing nutrients to my body? So when you, as I talked about earlier, when you repackage those large foods into smaller containers, you have to pause to open up the second container. Or maybe you've put the snack up high on the shelf. You have to pause because you need to go get the ladder, put it by the shelf, climb up, reach to the back, and get that extra bag of pretzels or donut holes or whatever it is you're hiding in the back of your closet. Your cupboards. Hopefully you're not hiding food in your closet too. So think about the pause. Give yourself a pause before you just dive in and take a break. So let me recap the 4 tips. 1 is to pay attention. Pay attention to quantity. Pay attention to the foods that you're seeing. Are you seeing foods and that's causing you to want those foods? Pay attention to the size of your container. When you're snacking, let's say you're snacking and you're watching TV, which is another little tip for you. Don't eat distracted, because you always eat more when you're distracted. But if you're going to go and you're going to sit down, you're going to have a little bowl of popcorn, don't bring the big bowl into the living room. Portion it out, give yourself a reasonable portion of popcorn, take it into the living room, watch your show, and be done. But this is something you need to pause and decide, okay, I'm taking 2 cups of popcorn. This is what I'm eating. When I'm done, I'm done. Otherwise, that bowl becomes bottomless, right? Number 2, you're going to look for the patterns, okay? So where is it that you get sucked in? What are your trigger foods? What are your trigger situations? Do you go out to lunch with friends and every time you go out, you get this big tray of chips and you're just noshing on those chips without even thinking about it? Make decisions ahead of time and try to find your patterns. Number 3, are you getting sucked into the marketing? Start being really aware of the marketing and how they're trying to suck you in, because we're just too busy. We just run around, we don't think about it, and that's what the marketing is for. They're trying to get us when we're busy and we're not thinking about it. Those companies are not intending to make you overweight and lethargic, but they are intending to sell you their food. So be attention to the marketing tactics. Pause and be mindful. And number 4 is to pause. I just want you to stop and take a minute to think about what's going in your mouth and why. Are you really hungry? Check in. So in the comments, I have posted a link to my mindless eating blog post that I just posted yesterday. I want you to go check that out because there's a lot more tips there. Not only that, but at the bottom of the blog post, you're going to find a freebie that I created for you. It's about a 7-page freebie. And it is my Mindless Eating Mastery worksheet. So you're going to get a little calendar page that's going to show you each and every day simple little mindset hacks that you can do to keep yourself mindful. They're not necessarily just mindset hacks. Actually, they're exercises, little exercises to help you be mindful. And maybe you're going to find your pitfalls in that. So each and every day you have a little one of those. The Mindless Eating Mastery Guide kind of encourages you to pick one big eating habit habit that you think is holding you back. So you're gonna pick one big habit for the entire month, and then you have this little daily task worksheet that you're checking in with. No work to do. You're just gonna print it out, post it on your fridge, be mindful, do the little activities, because they really, when you engage yourself in these mindless eating activities, you're gonna find, oh, that is something I can easily cure, that I've been falling prey to, that I can easily cure, and wiping out hundreds of calories a day, getting to your goals super easily rather than trying this big, huge plan. It's a great place to start. You're also going to have, there's a couple of fun 4 activities that are just kind of fun activities for you to try regarding food. And you're going to free yourself of habits. So I want you to go over to the website. In this title, you've got the link to the blog post, the Mindless Eating Habit Tips. Go there, read the article, because you're going to get more tips in the article, and then opt in for the Mindless Eating Mastery Guide and try it for a month. Keep the guide, because every month you can try to knock out a new big habit. Okay, I'll walk you through the whole thing. All right, you guys. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe below so you can keep getting notifications of great fitness, nutrition information. Feel free to visit my website at www.missyvallisonfitness.com for more.